everyone, and welcome to another episode of Spare Parts. That's my dog barking in the back, so this is good. Clem, relax. She's excited to be here, and she's really excited because we have a very special guest with us today.
Joining us all the way from Toronto, Ontario. Toronto. Bianca Dong. Nadine Bhabha.
Thanks, guys.
Hey.
I feel like I said this in the pre-intro when we were talking, but Nadine's one of the most talented and inspirational creatives that I hang out with regularly. Always makes me work harder, always makes me write more, which I feel like is a really important thing. Surround yourself with people like that. It's helpful.
Be their safe.
Yeah.
Wait.
But we all need like a bit of a kick in the ass sometimes. And you provide that in a very non-aggressive way, which is a delicate dance, but you pull it off.
Oh, yeah. You say, I'm going to be in your neighborhood tomorrow. You will be writing with me. And I'm like, I guess I'm writing tomorrow. I could do that to you
on Friday. I'm doing that tomorrow with Clark. Clark's in town, and I said, hey, 12 to 3 tomorrow, we're writing.
Wow.
That's good.
That's great.
That is actually really nice. When you're writing, do you do the like 20 minutes on, 5-minute break? Do you have something like that, or do you just like sit down and power through it?
The Jackson Pollock of technique, I want to say. Like, it's really random.
Okay.
Does that mean you have no
Jackson
technique,
Pollock
or you
had
have
some
all the
kind of technique, but it was quite it was random. I sometimes, if I lock in, I can just go for a couple hours. I think that's writer's room type energy where I'm just like focused for a few hours. But I have to look at my phone. I don't know what that is. The addiction. Yeah.
Addiction.
Yeah.
It's called addiction. It's called having a casino in your pocket. That's not your fault.
Out, I feel. Like I'll be writing a made up thing with made up people. And then I zoom out and look at real people doing real things for a few minutes.
On Instagram.
But like, in like a made up space. It's like, it's like so fake.
Yeah.
But
I know
real
what you
people.
mean though. I know what you mean. It's like, okay, I'm also a part of a world that is mine. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like, it's not touching grass, but it also is good to shut your brain off and then like kind of go back and forth a little bit. I think
that's why I talk
breaks.
to people.
Yes.
Like I like have community around me where I like all of a sudden start yapping to whoever's sitting beside me when I'm writing. Like I'll be writing and then I'll be like, I need a break. And I'm like, hey, do you guys, like, let's just start speaking to the people.
I love writing with people so I can not be on my phone in those middle points. Yeah.
That's nice. Yeah. That's why we work well together. Nadine and I have written some stuff together, and it's always very fun and very effective.
It was because of you. I finished a pilot on Friday. Literally, I had 2/3 of it done, and then we went back and forth, and I finished that third in like 2 hours.
That's really exciting.
That is really nice. So just have like a little accountability, but not in like but it's more just like a cheerleader of sorts.
Oh,
being like, okay, we're in this together. Yeah.
Yeah. Like that's not what it is. It's more like, so I feel like whenever you're writing a script, there's like only so much that your initial brain can create where you're like, oh, this is the story. These are the characters. And then you need one other set of eyes on it just to activate that next part of your brain to just fill in the blanks, just to help a little bit, just to be like, okay, I didn't think about it from that perspective. And then all of a sudden a whole new world of ideas, which is, I mean, Nadine's actually been a part of writers' rooms. I've never personally been in a writer's room. You worked on Children Ruin Everything.
Oh, yeah.
So another New Metric Media show.
Yes. I worked on Children and Everything, and I worked on This Hour is 22 Minutes as well, which was very collaborative. Like if you have a sketch idea and you're like, what's the middle? I'm missing the middle. You can go to any of the other writers and say, can you make this better? And they will.
Do they all start yelling over each other? Like, are you sitting at a table, like in a round table, and you start yelling? Or is it like hands raised? Or what's the deal?
In the beginning, when I first started there, it was all Zoom because it was like August 2020. But then once we got to Halifax, because we were in the Atlantic bubble, and now.
Oh, yeah. East Coast. Let's go.
There's a physical room, and it's pretty quiet in there unless you're like, hey, should at the time, like Justin Trudeau say this or that, or you know what I mean? Like, and then someone would give you.
So it's like, is it like quiet clickety clacking until somebody has an idea and then they just kind of shout out?
Well, it depends on what's like happening. Sometimes they're like, okay, you know.
I'm picturing the TMZ office with the guy with the mug. You know what I mean? Being like, I have an idea. It's like,
kind of like yelling at each other.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Everyone's working on something.
But like not fun.
Well, the Canadian version. Yeah.
We should have Canadian TMZ for sure.
It would be boring.
So boring. Imagine.
Wait, that's actually, that is a great
I saw Michelle
idea.
Milet at the Drake again the other day. Okay, what was she doing? Having a martini?
Yeah, sitting.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Simply sitting.
I used to do that with my
Okay.
She smiled, she waved.
Yeah,
It was
I used to do
fine.
that with my sister, like fake Gossip Girl. I'd be like spotted Michelle Milet at 416 Snack Bar. My sister would be like, I don't care.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't care. Stop talking to me.
Oh, but also 416 Snack Bar.
Yeah, you don't get to go there anymore. You live out west.
No,
You don't get to.
but I'll be in Toronto soon, you guys.
Right. What are some places you'd love to
And
hit
if
up
you
while you're in
say
Toronto?
the
Tell
place
us.
that you said so many times.
Oh God!
Every time we mentioned.
I can't even give that place. I can't even. It's
I
so
know.
annoying to me now that we've talked about it as if we're like sponsored by them. It's so insane.
Never been to Paris, Texas. I swear.
No, you shouldn't have
I've
even
never
said it.
even been. I swear.
And I've only been once, but it seems like a part of our
I know.
brand
Seems like I
now.
live
So good.
there with the
No.
20-year-olds.
Yeah, I mean, I love, again, I'm like so out of the Toronto loop, right? So these are all the places that when I moved away in 2018, I used to go to.
You want to go to Honest Ed's. You want to go
Yeah.
Honest Ed's. Whoa, true. I mean, I do want to go to Honest Ed's,
Ontario
but
Place.
the aquarium.
Yeah, the Much Music video office. Yeah.
I want to get a picture with that car.
I
on the
honestly
wall,
took a picture of it
course.
the other day. I love that building.
Aw.
Took a video of it.
It's going to go at some point. It's going to be so
nostalgic.
sad.
It's
Favorite
very
building.
nostalgic.
It's
yeah,
okay to have a
for
favorite
sure.
building.
Yeah, it is. It is.
It's just, it'd be cool if people still crowded out. Okay, so for those of you who don't know,
Yeah,
when we were
true.
growing up, there's this channel called Much Music, and you could stand outside the windows of Much Music every day and just hold up signs and scream, and all the interviews of like your favorite celebrities, Avril Lavigne, obviously being like the only one who ever showed up every day. You'd stand
Every day.
outside. Yeah, well, we only
She
have
was
like,
there every
like
day.
And then
three
don't
people, so
besmirch
we don't.
Much
People
Music.
be
It was the
standing
coolest
outside.
thing we've ever had.
I love Much Music. Hey, I would
Lady
if they
Gaga,
wanted,
Backstreet Boys,
Hillary
Justin
Duff.
Bieber. It
just
was
naming celebrities. What's going on here?
Yeah,
They were all
I
there.
saw so many people there. Yeah.
They were all there.
were all
It's
there.
true. If they restarted Electric Circus, I would be there
Right.
on the first night. If they ever wanted to do something like that. I love Much Music, FYI. But this
Yeah.
building is like downtown Toronto, and you could like back in the day, you used to be able to just kind of stand outside of it and always see someone or something going on. And they also had Speaker's Corner, which is like you pay $1 and you get to talk shit, and then they'd like
That's
just
crazy.
show it
No,
on
actually,
TV.
Yeah, it was just sorry, I just completely interjected,
Yeah.
but that is a crazy thing that we had, and I was reminded of
know.
it this week, and I totally forgot that it was a thing. We need to bring that back. Although people are so aggressive with their opinions, maybe they
No, but
always
they
have
edited.
been,
There was always an
though.
editor.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a 24-hour live stream. Somebody was going through and showing, because
And making-
otherwise it would
yeah.
just be like buttholes the whole time. Because I guarantee people were getting naked.
It's
in
true.
that
But
booth
now
constantly.
Speaker's Corner.
Didn't the Bare Naked
yeah.
Ladies?
They-
Didn't they do like a big? That's kind of part of the reason why they really popped off. Is like they all crowded in there and did like a live performance.
The first Tiny Desk
And Mike
concert,
Myers.
if you will.
if you will.
Yeah. But now Speaker's Corner, I would argue, is in the corner of your hand.
Whoa, dude. Oh, except
Nadine,
no one's
this
watching.
is why you're getting
Except
paid the big
no.
bucks to write.
The
Like,
big
that was
bucks.
Yeah,
huge. Bigs,
you guys
bigs,
can have that for free.
Sucks.
Yeah, I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna take
Alana
that for
and
my
I-
bio.
Actually dressed up. We went to, so I don't know if you guys know Rainbow Sun Franks, super funny actor, great dude, used to work for Much
Because
Music.
he plays Zoe Kravitz's brother in High Fidelity.
In High
the
Fidelity.
show.
So we went to Rainbow's
Oh.
party for Halloween a couple years ago, dressed as the Devil's Advocates, which is like a deep cut Speaker's Corner characters. There were these two dudes who used to wear leather jackets with devil horns and sunglasses and smoke cigarettes going,
Whoa.
Toronto is falling to pieces because the local government is failing us. Like, and it was their character, and they were so
Some things
funny.
never change, hey?
Yeah, it was awesome. Oh.
Wait, did he know what you were doing?
He was
did
the only person who knew.
course.
Well, he
And
was a
all
DJ.
night, no one knew who we were. He looked at us. He was like, "Oh my god!" Like he lost
That's
his mind.
cute.
It was just
I
for
love
him,
that.
just for Rainbow.
Does George? This is some real like Toronto core stuff. Does George Stroumboulopoulos still do his like parties at his house? Is that still a thing? Like, and
Nadine,
it's
what
like,
do you
Oh,
think?
well, he lives in LA a lot of the time.
Okay.
He does have a place though over by the Loblaws. I know
that's like it's a house, and he does, but it's like filmed, and he gets like a local, usually Canadian band, obviously. But I don't know. I went with Nate to see Alexis on Fire there, like a few years ago. Room? Yeah,
that's cool.
We need to investigate, cool. George, if you're listening.
Yeah, invite us over for a little Tiny Desk concert.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I want to see. I'd watch any documentary about Toronto core. And it wouldn't be a podcast episode with Nadine if we weren't talking about Toronto. Let's be real.
I know, it's like a problem that I have.
Explain this. What do you mean?
Toronto.
You're born and raised. Toronto. You love Toronto. Let's get into it.
Yeah, and I have this issue where it's like, if we're talking about it, I need to be like, well, did you know this? Well, did you know that? Like, it's so annoying.
Yeah. I think you've got Toronto pride. That's like,
I got Toronto pride.
So many people shit on Toronto who live here, and I really respect when I come across someone like yourself who like sees the bright side of Toronto and how wonderful it is as a city.
It is. It's a wonderful city. Like, I make fun of the weather and the like look of it.
Yeah, it's gray, and today there's ugly, like literally
but that's
tornado
okay.
warnings.
It's the vibe is great. The people are great. Like, it's a great city. I miss Toronto all the time. I love Toronto. It's just, it is ugly, but that's okay. That's okay. It's okay.
It's totally fine. And I agree. Yeah.
Ugly things can be beautiful.
Absolutely.
Well, of course. Hey, are you, Nadine, are you born and raised in Toronto?
Born and raised. Downtown Toronto, Women's College Hospital.
Okay.
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out. Hey.
It's a great hospital.
Yeah. Born and raised, lived all over the city. So I'm not one of those people who's like, I'm not going to cross the DVP. Like,
no, you're on the other side of the DVP right now.
I am. I mean, but I've lived all over the place. I just think it's cool. If you live in any city, any major city, not knowing your city, I think is weird.
Yeah, it's kind of embarrassing.
And
it's like, get out of the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, take a walk.
Take a walk.
Grass.
Touch grass all over. Touch
or
that.
Or if you're in Toronto,
grass.
Touch some concrete. Or touch a pile of garbage.
Oh, speaking of piles of garbage, I did want to make a correction. Do you remember when we were like, why are people throwing chicken bones all over the ground? Okay. Yeah. And then people just wait. It's going to come full circle. Evan, have some faith in me. And then people were like, who's going to tell them? Like, obviously it's from like seagulls and birds going through trash and then dropping them. Okay, yes. I felt a bit dumb. I went, wow, we really missed that. And then my friend Alicia was on the bus the other day watching some buildings, and a man out his window tossed just a plate of chicken bones out onto the street.
Yeah, this is some people not knowing Toronto and then talking some shit after listening to a podcast episode about birds. We have different garbage cans than you motherfuckers. We have the biggest raccoon problem in the world. You don't think we know how to hide our garbage from birds? That's not the fucking problem. You have to unlock the organics bins in Toronto. We have shitty teens, okay? That's the problem. We got teens, hooligan teens, eating chicken. We have a chicken joint on every shop street, and they're just ripping bones. They chuck them on the ground. I watch them, and I chase them. And I call 311 and I go, you have to issue a ticket. I've never done that in my life, but no, but I would rather chase a teen down and fucking tackle him and be like, stop it. Which I had one guy threw a bottle, fucking teens, I swear, threw a whole bottle of Coke into my parking lot once. And I was in my underwear on the patio and I stood up and I went, hey, what the
you
fuck?
Get off my lawn.
And he went, what? And I went, why would you do that? And he went, and I was like, just pick it up. And he was like, okay, sorry. And then he picked it up. I must have looked crazy.
I'm not afraid of any like particular group of people other than teenagers.
Of course, they're so scary. I get nervous walking by them.
Yes, and they won't think twice about it. And I think part of it's from that movie 13.
Mm-hmm.
And I just assumed they would all be like,
I don't think I saw 13.
Really?
Yeah, they were scary. They're scary.
I'm not scared of them in the sense that I'm like scared that they're doing drugs and like are wild in that way. I'm afraid of them like judge. I turn into like an 11-year-old who's like, okay, just keep my head down, eyes on the ground, walk by, quiet as a mouse. They're not going to say anything to you.
You're not afraid of them hurting you. You're afraid of them saying something that will penetrate you to your core and you'll think about for the rest of your life.
Exactly.
They'll give you an insult that just like...
under your skin. They're smart, those teens. They really are.
So mean. It's true. Those are the people who talk to me mostly. I would say like whenever I see a comment on TikTok that's like super mean, my initial reaction is like, ow, that hurts so much. I click the profile. It's like some fucking teen. I'm like, oh, never mind. They don't know any different right now. Like this is the language they use. Like,
they're listening to the podcast during math class.
Yeah.
I hope so.
We don't have that audience.
So I know. I was like, I don't know if we've got a teen audience, but that's something I'd hope to accomplish one day.
Oh my God. What would we have to start talking about to get a teen audience? Like Roblox?
I feel like if you get I feel like if you get Scorfano on here, like the Winona crowd,
the queer teens, we could get like some fun. We can get like that angle, but we can't get like all teens. Like we'd have to address some other issues entirely.
Well, that'd be might be a bit weird too for us
to really get all teens,
to really target teens.
We'd have to get like a love triangle thing going. I feel like that's what teens are into. Like we'd have to get some
love
sort of
triangle. Hello.
Oh my God, are we starting the love triangle right now?
Yeah, Nadine and
Both
I are
in love
together.
With Nadine. Wait, what?
Yeah, and Evan's jealous.
And Evan's really
triangle.
Well,
you're
trying
to
get in the triangle, and it's not going to
I
happen.
don't think you know what a love triangle is. That's just a love line with one person outside of it.
No,
that's not a triangle.
Oh, you're saying you love. Okay,
three people have to love each other and it not work out for anyone. That's how I picture a triangle. It's like I love Nadine, Nadine loves Michelle, Michelle loves Evan. Sorry, Michelle. Evan loves Nadine, and then it just keeps going like that.
Yeah,
that's putting a hat on a hat.
Yeah,
that is a hat on a hat. Whatever.
I know. I like it. You know, maybe next time we're all together, we'll write it. How about that?
Okay.
I love it.
Have you guys ever written something together? Like collaborated on a project together?
Yeah.
Yeah. Evan has a pilot that I have put a little bit of brain power into, but you've written it.
The Judy Doom pilot, the one where it's the young woman who it's kind of like a Buffy meets Sherlock, and she works at U of T and she solves supernatural crimes in Toronto. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
And then I love
that.
I know, and it's so funny. It's so great. And so doable. Hello? Hello, anyone?
Anybody listening?
She's got a hot dad who lives abroad on dig all the time. He's like an Indiana Jones who's like only shows up a little bit every now and then. So we get some super famous person for him. You get a Nathan Fillion, if you will, right?
A Jason Bateman, just for me.
Jason Bateman. Oh my God.
Throw me a bone. I want to see him.
Oh my God, Nathan Fillion. Can I tell a Nathan Fillion story?
Please.
A recent one? I was going to an event at the Canadian consulate a couple of weeks ago in LA. And
Patriot.
I'm a patriot. And the party was like very rigid because it's like this, networking event thing. And so it was from like 6 to 9 or whatever. So I get there, LA traffic, it's like crazy. So I'm like, I leave so much time. I get there at like 5:50 or something. And I like valet the car. And it's like me and 2 other people waiting to get into these closed gates. And I have no problem standing around by myself, kind of like looking off into the ether. I don't need my phone. But this man looked at me and thought I looked like I needed to talk to somebody. And he's just like, hey, I'm Nathan. It's Nathan Fillion. And
also a nerd, also showing up early?
Yeah, he was early and he said, it's my birthday. And I said,
happy birthday, Nathan.
That's sweet really that's where he spent his birthday.
Yeah, he went to the Canadian consulate for his birthday. That's kind of, I don't want to say it's sad, but it's like he obviously was like missing home a little bit.
Maybe. But like I'm sure he was like asked to be there.
Yeah, but like if it's my birthday and somebody asks me to go somewhere that's like work, like
true.
I might be like,
you're not necessarily gonna go. That's sweet that he was there. Was he a nice person?
It was lovely. It was an event put on by Bell, Bell Media, who that's Letterkenny and Children and Everything.
Yep.
Plug.
Nice.
plug. Hey, Bell Media execs, if you're out there, give us more shows. Approve the shows we pitch. Take a little risk. Yeah. Live a little.
Take a little risk. I mean, they iconically do take risks. That Bell Letterkenny was a pretty big risk, I would say.
It's true.
I guess so. I mean, it was like a $70 risk. I feel like they paid for it with like HMV gift cards the first couple seasons. But like, yeah, you're right. It was a risk.
As far as the type of content, but I guess 2015 people were still taking risks, and that therein lies the problem of today.
Yeah. I was listening to last week's episode, or the one that came out today, and you were talking about the amount of auditions from 2015, and I was just like, holy, I miss it.
I know. I felt like the world was full of possibilities.
It's true.
Hey, it still is, guys.
Did you guys? Sorry. I was about to give more trivia for no reason.
I'd love to hear some more trivia. Is this Nathan Fillion trivia?
No, I was
going to
say, did you guys know that I auditioned for season 1 of Letterkenny for Mrs. McMurray? Speaking of funny.
No, I didn't know that. Let's bring it back to Letterkenny. Yeah. Okay, how did that audition go? Tell us all about it.
I remember.
Was it in the room?
It was in the room, and I didn't know what the show was, obviously. And I'm like reading it, and I wore like a teensy little tank top and teensy little shorts in like April. It was so cold.
Feels like you got it. You pretty spot on there.
Yeah, but I didn't understand the rhythm, I don't think. And trying to like talk
hard to understand.
Totally, especially it's like fucking G&T or whatever. Like I just didn't get it. And I think it went fine, but I remember going like, that's not for me.
Oh.
Right.
And you know what? To be fair, Melanie Scrofano does something very unique with that role in particular that I almost can't imagine. It's one of those things where like, I can't imagine somebody else even trying to go, fucking cocksucking G&T and like make it even somewhat palatable.
Yeah.
So you auditioned for Mrs. McMurray, and then you later came into the show, I wouldn't say like replacing someone, but there was Big City Slams who came before you guys. Right. And then you kind of occupied that Big City Slam place with the same titles, but then got names as well, like named characters. How did all that happen?
Mm-hmm. I feel like, and you guys were talking about DeJordy as well. Like, I feel like it's like a kind of a same, like stepping into the little space that was left. Sorry, Tavita left a large space, but Tavita and Sash were there for the wedding, I believe. I mean, this is not for many a season, so people who are watching for the first time are like, I don't know what you're talking about, but
everyone's seen Letterkenny who's listening right now, let me tell you.
Likely, yes.
Likely.
So it was Sash and Tavita, and then Tavita couldn't come back for the winter block. No, it was a summer block, sorry. And so I got it because I think because I looked similar to Tavita. So that anyone...
you're also very good, and you and Sash work flawlessly together as like a duo. Also, so you must have auditioned for that.
I manifested it. I know I've told you the story before. I'm going to tell you again.
I was with my dad. I want to know.
I was with my dad in Vancouver. This is now 2 years after I had auditioned for it for the first time. And I'm on my phone, and I'm like scrolling Instagram, and I see a picture of Kelly McCormack as Betty Ann?
One of the two hockey players, yes.
I think. I'm pretty sure.
And I was like, oh my God, how fun. And I say out loud to my dad, I really want to audition for this show again, but I just feel like I don't fit into the world of Letterkenny because I'm such a city girl, is what I said. And he's like, oh, whatever. And I was like, yeah, I know. It looked so much fun. And I had watched the show at that point, and I was like into it. So then I was flying out that night, taking a red eye back home to Toronto. We get into the car, go to the airport, and as we're going, I get an audition that says City Girl Bianca.
Crazy.
And it was for the next day.
Whoa.
That's insane.
So you land after your red eye, go straight to the audition.
I memorized the lines in like 5 seconds because it's so well written. But I was red-eyed. I didn't sleep at all. I show up to the audition stinky.
Perfect.
Well, it's a good thing
she's raw.
Yeah.
She's cool.
They smell you at every
shit.
audition, by the way. They give a good whiff test. Yeah,
I just like go through it. I do the entire scene just all the way through. And then our lovely casting director is like, let's try it like this. I couldn't do it again. I was that tired. And they're like, it's actually fine.
You just said no?
I was like, I just kept trying to go through it, and I kept flipping the lines, and they're like, it's okay. Like the first take was good, and I was like, okay, okay.
I did it again.
Yeah, I walked away and I was like, I'm never going to be on that show. And then like a week later, I was.
I mean, I will. Part of the Letterkenny experience is if you know the lines and you shut your brain off, it's good enough. As long as you say them quickly in order, like part of the show, part of the brilliance of it is that you can just kind of like
getting it out. Yeah.
Get the rhythm out. And like you guys did that so much on the show too. They're like, like that wasn't in the script originally. And it just became a part of your thing. You guys also had your weird little handshake that you added that wasn't part of the script either. There's a lot of like, but the dialogue is just like, it's just already there for you. You don't need to do much with it.
It's true.
But you guys, what I think is always the performances that stand out the most on the show, it's like easy to kind of hide behind the writing of the show because it's so good. And that will make your performance great just in and of itself. But you guys did something that I think is so smart, and like a lot of the actors who really shone in this show did, which is you guys like stepped it up. You brought some originality to it. You like made it your own, and it stood out. And I really think your characters could have been kind of a 1 season, 2 season, like, but then you guys really solidified your spot and made such an impact, and you were such an asset. Like, and it could have been again pretty like just good.
There's a lot of one episode characters in the show
for sure, and that's hard to do, to like become really part of that core cast is a testament to your guys' talent.
Oh my God, we were so honored. Yeah, we were only contracted at first for 3 episodes. And then I remember...
how many episodes did you end up doing?
14?
Do you even... Wow.
It was...
That's
crazy. Yeah.
I remember we wrapped just before they like... We've talked about this, the clapping starts. I remember Jared came up to us and he was just like, that was really, really funny.
No, you have to do the Jared voice if you're going to do a Jared impression. Sorry.
That was actually really funny. That close? I don't know. And then I melted into the couch. I like blacked out. And then afterwards I was like, Stash, did Jared say that was really funny? And she's like, I think so. I also blacked out. And then I remember, the winter block, them Avail checking us and being like, I don't know what for. It was so exciting.
That's so cool. Well, from that's a big jump though, for sure. Because they're like, we'll get them in. They'll do their little like cute girl thing, but yeah, you guys really became like so to the very end.
Mm-hmm.
Led by Michelle, you were like the fiercest female lead of that cast, and I feel like every woman who stomped those boards had to come in and just be like, "There's already a vibe here for the women, and we have to all like." Be part of this vibe. You know what I mean?
Wait, or else I'm gonna literally fucking
but I feel like there's like a bar of like power that everyone has to sort of hit.
Yeah. The women are tough on the show. The men are tough. The women are tougher. Yeah.
The women and every single that's nice of you to say. And I think again it was like a tone that was set by like I was part of that tone. Obviously Lisa's performance was so powerful.
God, Lisa.
Like Dio coming in and like just demanding so much space and like so effortlessly. I felt the same way where I was like, I really got to make sure I'm stepping it up.
You guys just all kept doing this until all the women are just like, hey, fucking talk to me, bud.
Literally, yeah, we had to.
But also we had the space to do that. There was a lot of, as quickly as those days went, there was a lot of room to just be, I don't know, yourself.
Yeah. I get it. I get what you're saying. I know. I get what you mean by that.
No, did you find when you were coming onto this set in comparison to all the other sets you've worked on, like, was there a vibe to Letterkenny that you experienced coming in like a few seasons in that felt different? Or was it still just like the nerves of a new, like, I don't know, what was that experience like for you?
I was definitely nervous because I wanted to be able to seamlessly fit in. And Sash had already done an episode, so I already felt a little bit behind.
Oh,
that's tricky.
So that was interesting. But then again, both Jacob and Kiso were like, we loved your tape. And so it's like you feel like you were there for a reason. Mm-hmm. And then, I mean, I remember meeting Tyler and Evan and just going, these are my people.
Aww.
Evan and I like immediately started making fun of each other, and Tyler goes, do you guys know each other? And we're like, no.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Because Tyler would never do that. Tyler's such a professional, such a baby kisser. But Nadine and I immediately started shitting on each other. It was like, you're from Toronto? Okay.
I have like I'd like to say about myself, I have like a metal detector for like good vibes, and it's like beep, 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 beep. Like Evan was beeping.
I'd say so. Yeah. You mean, because how many times have you, me, and Clark hung out since then? It's crazy. Like you've lived with Clark since then, and you've met Clark on the show, right? This wasn't a so this whole new friend group just from this show. It's crazy.
It's wild. It's so nice.
That is so nice. That's sweet. Yeah, what season did you guys...
Like 6. So by the time you guys get back there, everyone will have forgotten me on this episode.
But we'll have you back on, obviously, for your debut episode, of course.
And Sash shows up, season 5? Or is it...
for the wedding.
Right. Which is, oh my God, we don't fight at weddings or something. We don't fuck at weddings. I don't know what the...
We don't fight at weddings.
Something like that. We something about weddings. It's something like that.
Yeah.
And then there's the whole, that's when we get the Dylan Hand story. Like that's when his hands are all burned.
It's crazy that that's season 6.
Yeah. End of season 5. Yeah.
When people start from the beginning and they're like, I'm just starting Letterkenny from the beginning. Like, when do you come on? I'm like, season 6. And they're like, how many seasons are there? I'm like, 13.
13, 12, 13.
I don't know.
Luckily there's only 6 episodes per season.
It's true.
So
Luckily,
that is,
I would have done 24 a season for sure.
I wish that was still a thing in television.
I know. Every time that there's a show that still does, you were just telling me about a show that does like 20 a season or something like that.
Well, there's a show that just got renewed for 22 episodes.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Oh, it could be 3 seasons though.
Yeah.
What show are you allowed to say?
Oh, I'm not on it. It's a show called Doc on Fox.
So it's probably multiple seasons then. I want to go back to like those crazy 24-hour season episode schedules where it's like you just do nonstop work and then you're rich for the rest of your life.
I literally
your 5
I don't even know
seasons.
what that is. What is that?
I feel like
Friends. Like Friends did 24 episodes.
I've been talking multicam where it's like week by week for 9 months.
Weeks. Yeah.
I mean, I want to make Fresh Prince. And
oh my God, let's make Fresh Prince.
Yeah, of course.
They already remade that though.
The 90s sitcom formula though.
Yeah.
Well, 100%. This is the script that I wrote that Evan helped me finish.
It's really funny. Yeah, it's got a great... I want to make Multicam in Toronto so badly.
Oh, I'll force myself into that project. You know I will.
It's just us.
Yeah.
Every character.
Murdoch Mysteries is such a genius concept because he found a way to employ all these people in Toronto for 18 seasons and just work in Toronto and just make whatever, like just, a new story every week, right?
Now, are you saying he as in
Yannick Bisson?
You're talking about Yannick. You're not
talking about Yannick.
You're not talking about Murdoch.
I'm talking about his fictional character, Murdoch of Last Name Mystery.
He's such a sly guy with beautiful eyeliner as well.
He's a beautiful man, I will say. He was way chill. I want to do that though. That's my dream, is do as a multicam in Toronto where you get to work every 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. And then that's your job, and you just go and you record and you shoot, and then you go home at night, and it's like a regular job.
And a writer's room of 10 people, and everyone gets a
max. Yes.
Oh, wow. Max 10. Yeah. So that you can actually get your stuff
Everyone
done.
Gets 2 episodes a season, 20 episodes, guaranteed.
Yeah.
My mom lost her mind when she saw you in Murdoch. She called me.
Oh, really?
Evan. She was like, she loves it. She was like,
I love Murdoch too.
He's
I was so
talented. He did such a good job. Like, she was so
sweet.
Impressed with your work.
I love it.
Sweet.
I love when actors' friends' parents become fans of your friends.
Yeah.
Do you guys do one on Christmas? I made my family sit there and listen to it with me.
Oh yeah, we did. We released an episode on Christmas to be
Jacob,
to fill the void.
Yes, yeah. I was cooking. I was making dinner for my family, and they're like, "What is this?" I'm like, "Shut up, listen." And then they were all talking to the podcast like I do.
Really?
They were all listening to Spare Hearts on Christmas Day. That's so cute.
That's really cute. So when you say talking to the podcast, because you've mentioned this before, you'll answer us as you're listening, as if I love that.
Especially because one of my favorite things Evan does is sometimes you're so strong and wrong. You're like made in 1902, and it's like me going, no.
Thank you.
Strong and Wrong is the name of my autobiography, by the way. For sure.
And a great merch idea. We'll give you 5%.
Strong and Wrong.
We'll give you 5%.
God.
But then also I'm contributing to your answers with the Spare Hearts questions, where I almost always have the more cynical view. You guys are so sweet to everybody, which is really nice. It's
she'll send me this is the kind of text she'll send me is like after we've talked about, like talk to someone, we're like, you're going to get her back. Don't worry about it. She'll be like, no, what did he do wrong? He sounds like a psycho. Like obviously he did something in this scenario. And I was like, oh no, he sent a message to us. He's right. Like he's a good guy.
So he must be a good guy.
He must be a good guy. He listens to the podcast.
That's nice because I'm like, sometimes I feel like I'm the like harsh one. Yeah. And then I'm worried that I'm saying things that are like so offensive, like, you know, going after the poly community, which I
deserve it. Sorry.
I'm allowed. People are like, any sort of negative feedback I receive, I'm like, oh my God, I've harmed somebody. And like, I feel so stressed about it. But
that's being a podcaster though. You got to make break a few eggs.
You got to make them hurt.
Make an omelet.
Well, speaking of Spare Hearts, we would love to go through some questions with you.
I can't wait.
Are you ready? Should we do some? And Evan, do you mind kind of being the Spare Hearts question reader?
Okay, let's do it.
This is
I'll shepherd us through some questions. Again, these are totally unchecked questions. Can't wait to see what they are.
Raw dog the questions.
We're gonna raw dog some questions here.
It makes it fun that way.
Wow, there are some stuff here, eh? What the hell is this?
Okay, wow, that's going to be the picture of our clip.
What was it? Oh, is it the Letterkenny mug? That's funny.
Yeah, she looks absolutely gorgeous as well. You look gorgeous. I mean, you always look gorgeous, but you look really gorgeous. I like that you're wearing a statement necklace. It's making me feel like it's 2012 again, but that's a cooler version of what we were getting up to back then.
I got this from Value Village.
It's really great.
Thank you so much. It was $2.
I like it. Perfect. Hey,
these are so long. Everyone writes so much, which is what we asked for, to be fair.
Well, to be fair.
Wanting more detail.
To be fair. But yeah, a little concise.
These are epics. Every single one of these is like unbelievably.
I do appreciate people giving you like the details of their life.
Yeah.
Especially when they're in active relationships. I'm like, that's so funny. They're like, my partner and I both listen to the podcast. How do I tell them that he's ugly?
And I'm no longer attracted to him. Yeah.
This is
so he's going to find out in 1 second.
Yeah. That's like probably the way that they want to try to get out.
That's actually it's like the opposite of a promposal.
Right. Right. They're listening in the car, just looks at him. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Can you divorce my husband?
Oh, whoa.
Evan looks so concerned, and now I'm worried about what we're in for.
These questions are like so okay. So this one, I'm just gonna raw dog this one.
Yeah,
okay. I'm just gonna.
Raw dog
I'll just start it. Okay. First of all, it's written. It's written in Courier, like in Courier New, like script font.
Okay.
This is why I didn't even know people changed their fonts.
Okay. They wrote it in Final Draft.
Yeah, right. You wrote this in something else. Okay. You can call me Ace. Great start.
Cool. Yeah, cool.
Already shitting on this person? That was so sarcastic. Okay. Okay. Thank you for the company. I have moved out of town and everywhere is basically a 30-minute drive for me now. While I love listening to music more than I can express, listening to your two comforting voices has made the drives fly by. Please keep this podcast up as long as possible. Whoa. Thanks.
Thank you, Ace.
So true.
There's a TLDR, which I will read. I'm going to read the TLDR, which is actually beautiful, and then we can get more info if we need it.
Okay.
I am super happy and content with my life, job, and situation, but occasionally feel like I'm missing something. My best friends are a couple who are too perfect to be real, and occasionally I get jealous, not of either of them, but of their situation. That's the TLDR. Would you like a little more info?
No.
Yeah, no.
Okay. I've been through a marriage and divorce that spanned 7 years from dating to divorce. 2 girlfriends that were with me for over a year each. I feel exhausted. I work and live in entertainment, concert lighting specifically, meaning I travel, I'm used to travel, and I work for travel for more than 15 years. I'm 35-ish. 35-ish. What?
Hey,
previously, I traveled for multiple years at a time. And more recently, I am out on standard tours 1 to 3 months at a time. Having such a busy, unpredictable life, I have made mostly the peace with being alone when I return home. It hasn't worked out in the past, and I feel safer not bothering at this point. But then I'm confronted by my best friend couple existing, and they're the most lovely people to exist. They make a relationship look effortless, even though I know it's not. I met him 15 years ago, and I met her 10 years ago, and we have made jokes about who gets me or the dog in the absolutely impossible to happen ever divorce. They're so sweet. I love them dearly, but sometimes the relationship makes me feel a sense of loneliness that I don't ever feel from anywhere else. How do I convince myself that I'm happy alone? My ex-wife is happy, single, with 2 kids, not mine. We still text regularly, and she came to my most recent grandparents' funeral, of whom she knew the grandparent. Okay. I am happy to dive deeper into my question if this doesn't make any sense or it doesn't cover enough. Thank you so much. Ace.
Great.
How do you find contentment alone, I guess is the question. And like, how do you not compare your life to the perfect couple next door?
I feel like we're a really good cross section. We have a married, we have a common law, we have a single gal.
Yeah, we are covering all the, a lot.
Yeah.
Of the, yeah. First of all, I feel like no couple is perfect.
No.
And like even couples that you're seeing happy, like I've never met a couple, especially a long-term couple, that doesn't have to like work on it, go through trials and tribulations. Like, so just do keep that in perspective. Don't put them on a pedestal in that way. It's like probably not realistic, and I would start there.
Also, you probably don't want to date either one of your friends. You know what I mean? Like, you're like, they
wouldn't be perfect for you. Like if you were dating either of them, yeah.
They wouldn't be.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I look at couples who are like very secure within their couple, but I would never in a million years date either one of them. You and Alana. But like, it's a great example because it's like, neither of you for me, but like I appreciate your thing. And you enhance my life by being secure.
I'm disgusted at the thought of either one of you, but I'm so happy for you.
No, as someone who's like lived with
well.
Alana for a few months, I love Alana. We were an incredible couple. The man at the car rental place thought we were together, and we were both like, yeah, but we're not.
Yeah, let's get into it. Tell me about the shit that my wife.
No, Alana's perfect, but we're not supposed to.
What pissed her off about you when you guys were living together?
I don't know. You'd have to ask her.
Oh,
what pissed
nothing
her
is
off
the
about
answer.
Me?
No. What did you don't like? What didn't you like about living with her?
Nothing.
Wow, that's fair.
Because Alana's perfect, Evan, and don't you ever forget it.
No, she's perfect.
But also to say is that like that your friend couple being perfect for each other only enhances your life because you have an example of a healthy, happy relationship. Mm-hmm. You don't want everyone around you to be miserable.
No. Oh God, being around a miserable couple is the worst thing.
It's the worst.
Going
when
to a party,
snippy at each other.
It's like, stop talking to each other. Stop talking to my friends like that. Like, because they're both your friend, and you're both acting like shitheads. Like this, and you just can see it from it, especially in public. Like if you're shitting on your partner in front of your friends, like in front of people. Mm-hmm. That's a red flag for sure.
And I feel like you probably saw that in your parents or something too.
I mean, well. Shit, they never shat on each other, but they definitely divorced when I was 13.
Not you specifically.
Oh, sorry.
I was like, whoa. And Nadine asking. Yeah. So, Evan, tell us about your parents' divorce. Okay, but I guess this question is you've already decided that you are happy in your life, you're busy, you're traveling, you tried marriage, it didn't work out for you.
But then feels less happy
in comparison to.
When they watch this model of perfect coupling.
Tells me that you're not content with being single because that's not ultimately maybe what you want, right? So like I wouldn't give up the dream of meeting your person.
A lot of people want to be with someone who's away for 1 to 3 months at a time. That's a lot of nice alone time. Like that is a really like Nadine would love that.
You should hit up Nadine.
Nadine only dates people who live in different countries. Like I've never met someone you're dating because you're always like, oh yeah, they're like overseas.
They're in Nashville. I know.
You don't want to see them. You want to see them for a weekend and it's nice and you leave and you're good.
Yeah, but I did a lot of like inner work,
soul searching. Cool. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, because I it's true. Like I have so much of my own stuff that like I don't need a person, but I want one.
Yeah. And that's the perfect place to be for sure.
Yeah.
And so that's maybe where like that self-work, because when I hear this question and talking about this like idyllic couple that they're kind of feeling jealous over, what it sounds like to me is you aren't actually at full peace within yourself. Otherwise, you might not have that level of like comparison going on. Comparison is really hard to avoid. We all do it. But at the same time, it's like, it is important to just do the work to like live the happiest life you can. And then you're going to attract people that are actually in alignment with you, you know?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Alana and I are very much like best friends living together. I think when we're at our peak, it's like just like, you know, we enjoy a TV show together, we walk, we joke. And I feel like that's the thing that maybe you're looking at is like that friendship that like someone like a live-in friend is really nice. It's a nice thing to have a live-in friend. Because it's like, you know, being a human is kind of a lonely thing, even when there are people around, you know? So sometimes just like, especially if you grew up in a family or you grew up with like people around, it's hard to go from that to like, most people grew up with like one or two people around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's how growing up works generally. They're usually not totally alone. So then going to adult life and then having no one living in your home anymore is like, it's a weird feeling. I know when I lived alone, I was the craziest I ever was. Like it was like totally manic.
It was you like hotel ritual energy.
Oh my God. It was it was such a weird, and I look back on that time of my life and I'm like, you were like off the rails, man. Like you were a wild cat.
You like a warm body.
Yeah, it was, yes, and now that I have a wife and a dog, like when Alana's not there, I got another warm body. So maybe you just need a cat. I don't know.
I also think like, you know, this is not new information, but like needing a partner to complete your life. Obviously, it sounds like he thinks that he has no need for that. But we went from like large communities to these tiny nuclear families. And now I think we're integrating more kinds of people into our lives. Friends can be part of your family. I know it's not the same thing.
But the community is so important.
Yeah. It is. Yeah. And it's not that dissimilar. Like we are so isolated. And so I think everybody's like, even in a relationship, if I just had Connor, I need my other friends to talk to.
The way he chews with his mouth open would drive you nuts if you only ever hung out with Connor. You just
right. If I was just hyper fixated on one person, like that's not family. Like my family, to your point, Nadine, it's like, it is my friends. It is like all of these people that I need to kind of, and I need him to also have his own people too. Like it's very important.
Yeah, if your partner doesn't have other like interests and people and all that sort of stuff, it's interesting. It sounds like because this person kind of like lives outside of, it's a 30-minute drive from anywhere else, it kind of sounds like, and their friends live very close by. Yeah. It sounds like their friends are extremely close, that one couple and him. It sounds like they live like in the woods together.
It's also like, there was like all these studies that if you're within walking distance of your friends, it's like one of the happiest subgroups. So
I've thought about this so many times. I'm like, every time a place in my fucking building opens up, I'm like, God, I hope one of my friends moves into my fucking building. There's only like so many units. If I could make the television show Friends happen in my building, I want to do that.
Yes.
That's why everyone always talks about like, let's buy land and have a commune. And I'm like, yes.
Okay. Someone
and we'll have
it.
A garden in the center and it'll be great.
Yeah, exactly. I want to have somebody knock on my door. Nobody ever fucking knocks on my door unless it's someone being annoying. Like I want
a Popeye.
Yeah,
because no one can get into your building, Evan, without buzzing in.
Well, buzz me. No one ever buzzes me either.
Well,
one time my brother did it, and I was like, Whoa, come on in. I'll make you a cocktail. Like, this is so weird.
If my buzzer goes and I'm not expecting someone, I'm calling the police. I'm like, someone's trying to get in.
I want to get away from that.
Trying to get in.
I don't want to live in fear of like my neighbor. I want to have my neighbor be my friend, but not the other way around. I don't want to make friends with my neighbors. I don't want that. It's too risky.
Yes. My favorite kind of neighborhood is I have a coffee shop across the street from my house. Shout out. Oh, wait, no. Because then we're
don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Shout out my exact address and my social security number.
Yeah. My credit card is 4519.
Nadine is looking for a partner. Feel free to buzz.
Feel free to buzz anytime.
Never mind that. But across from my house is the cutest little coffee shop, and the owners are so sweet. And there's a rotating, people coming in and out always for coffee, and we all kind of know each other, but not very well, and that's perfect.
Dude, my barista used to be Nadine's barista at this coffee shop on the other end of town. I go to my coffee shop every day. Nadine's there last Friday. We're writing. It's like, hey. Like, it's like such small world community energy. That kind of stuff lights my heart up. Makes me feel so good.
I love it.
But Ace doesn't have that option right now because they live in like the wilderness.
I think we're telling Ace to move.
Yeah, move to a fucking city.
Get to Toronto.
Get to Toronto.
It's a great city. I would say like I get the instinct to be in a small community, especially when you're traveling around. I don't know. I mean, or the toxic advice is try to infiltrate the couple.
Yeah, break them up. Make them feel worse about their lives, and you'll feel better about your life.
Start like telling one that the other one said that like they saw, you know what I mean? Like start planting some seeds, start wearing some tight fitting clothes. Just get
smell
in there.
really good.
Steal their
spray
dog.
your cologne on their. Whoa!
Oh, sorry, that was too far.
That was too far. Let her.
Oh my god.
Okay, should we get into another question?
Absolutely. You want me to just randomly go for another one here? Jesus. Yeah. That one actually worked out pretty well. Like, I feel like that wasn't actually as...
Yeah.
There's so many ex-wives in these emails. It's so... I don't want to say it's so funny, but there's a lot of people who listen to our podcast have an ex-wife. I don't know what that says.
No, that checks out.
Yeah, that does kind of check out.
This person is being very friendly, saying very friendly things about the podcast and about our work. I thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
33-year-old single mom from New England. Does anybody have a New England accent here?
No.
Chowder.
Chowder. Is that where we're in the world of? I'm not only cursed with depression and anxiety, but also falling in love way too fast and way too hard. My luck with men has not been the greatest, but the last two relationships have been one of those ones that have like really shaken things up. Starting with, let's call him Omaha. Okay, this is going to be a long one.
I love that.
Okay, so he's 35 years old at the time. He was a field technician, met online in January of 2023, hit it off amazingly, talked all night, and not too long after, he drove out to see me for our first date, not knowing he was going to meet half the family when he got in and got snowed in with us. Our relationship was everything I ever wanted it to be. It was great with me and my family, and most importantly, my son. And this man is the type to drop everything in a second if you need him, and is so hardworking and a great father to his kids. As being the most mature relationship I ever had, we based ours on honesty, communication, and understanding. So after almost 5 months, he tells me he's moving 3 hours away to be closer to his daughters and to have more of a permanent home. And that would be better if we broke up because he couldn't put it on me to uproot my son and my life. And I couldn't fault the guy for his decision, but was so upset for not giving a long distance relationship a shot. We've stayed in contact and just check in with each other to see how things are going, and even sharing some steamy calls and texts every now and then. Dirty deets, Michelle, is what it says in brackets.
Thank you. That's what I wanted.
While always having the honesty of, if either one of us meets someone, we respect any and all relationships. Fast forward, January 2024, I meet Napa. 38, single father to a daughter, same age as my son,
Napa's
lives a few towns over.
For sure.
Definitely. You don't get the name fake name Napa unless you got a cool tan. Met online, and at first I didn't think anything was going to spark until one night he wants to video call. This person is up with
the same guy.
The technology. This is a different guy. This is someone else. This is a total catfish. With my hair in a knotted mess and my head with no makeup on and sweats. I swear this video call, it's both of us just sitting with our crotch goblins almost 8 at night. I think that means children, crotch goblins.
We talked about, but keep going.
We talked about anything and everything until 5:30 in the morning. Okay, so it's like a cute.
I thought she was going to lead us through. Like I started touching my breast.
Instead, it's like our kids. We stayed up all night chatting like cute people. Okay. All right. So the next day we met at a restaurant, and he brought his adorable daughter, and we had the most amazing first date of my life. It was so great that neither one of us wanted it to end. So we went to Walmart. Perfect second location for a date. Okay. They helped me with my shopping. And even after the shopping was done, we still didn't want to leave each other. So we just made plans that him and his daughter would come to my place. So I picked up my son from the sitters and we met back at my house. And Napa had stopped and bought my son his favorite at the time, bananas, as a peace offering. Haha, kids hit it off perfectly. And after getting so late, we just let them camp in the living room while me and Napa had our own sleepover. Wink, wink. Oh, shit.
I am scandalized.
In the family home?
Yeah, in the family home. I was doomed from that night on. I fell so in love with not only Napa, but his daughter too. And not long after, we were making future plans to go kayaking, go kayaking, not kayaking. That's not a thing.
Well, that's yapping on a kayak.
Nice.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Going to the zoo, etc. They met my whole family over Easter weekend. This was endgame for me. My mom said I was Twitter padded at any time he was brought up in conversations. I don't know what that means.
Twitter padded?
Twitter padded. Do we know what this word is?
Twitter
is this in New England?
Is Twitter like a name for your
hoo-ha?
Yeah.
For the kitty cat?
For the kitty cat?
On the kitty cat.
For the meow meow? After 3 months, things started to shift. He stopped communicating as much, basically saying that something was going on in his personal life and he didn't want to keep hashing out. I never got any details and then fully what was going on. And it just got worse and worse until he stopped all communication, unless I showed up at his work, which he worked at a store, and me showing up wasn't a huge dramatic thing at that time. Mm-hmm. And I gave him multiple chances to back out if he felt like things weren't going to pan out. And every single time he said that he wanted to be with me and that he loved me just as much as I loved him. After a month of only me putting in any effort and giving chances, I finally snapped and walked up to him at his job and ripped him a new one. A few new ones even. So bad that his manager just walked away, and now I never do anything like this ever. I know better because... Oh my God. This is like, okay. I was hurting so much and I just didn't care anymore. And the worst part was he never put up any fight. It was just like he was giving up on everything. Fast forward 4 months later, I received some life-changing news and got my ass in gear to finally apologize to Napa for showing up his job and flipping out and saying some very awful, nasty shit. He deserved to get chewed out. Yes, hell yeah. But not in that setting. And I'm not scared to admit and own up to my mistakes, but I know how I should be treated too. So this is like long. I feel like we're going to have to cut some of this question out, but I'm going to keep reading it, okay?
But okay.
So that you guys have context and we can cut it out later.
Yeah.
Few months later, Napa calls out of the blue needing help. I get things set up for what he needed and he showed up at my house. Kids played and I let him vent to me and reassured him that things will be okay. And we talked and he kept bringing plans up that we had made up. Okay, I'm just going to fast forward a bit.
Thank you.
Next few months, he texts me randomly, knowing by now not to get too into, okay, keep going on.
I want to know what Omaha had to do with any of this.
Yeah. At the same time, Omaha texts me back to check in. By February, I head down to see Omaha for the weekend. The days, not the man. The weekend shout out. Let's just say we Amazon Prime and sexy times. After I got home that Sunday, my heartbroken.
How are people doing?
My heartbroken induced depression started to rear its fugly face as the realization that I'm still very much in love with Napa. Yes,
Napa. Still love
sex
Napa.
is great. This is great. This is my window. Yes, sex is great, and the right people. God, yes, sex is great with the right people, and mixed with denial, I can pretend that I'm okay for a few days pretty easy. So after a few weeks, I tell Omaha about my feelings for Napa, everything full transparency, and Omaha listens and tells me that I should go for it and that I need to see where telling Napa that I still love him goes. So I do, and surprise, surprise, we have a little Hulu and do you. I talked, of course. But again, I felt he was still holding back from being fully open about all of it. Omaha has been helping me cope with all of this. Sadly, no sex, as my undeserving loyalty to a man who apparently doesn't want me won't go away. With Omaha being the most amazing friend ever, he has been a huge help in me trying to process my thoughts and feelings. I've started to get back into some of my hobbies, and I have also been listening to Spare Parts at work and has pulled me more out of my toxic, obsessive thinking. I'm so grateful to have heard about the podcast and given it a try. I have even started to rewatch Letterkenny again. I know you guys want all the filthy bits in the story, which there's so much that I can't type it all out unless you really want it all. I guess my question is, have you ever felt that kind of love that just leaves you completely lost in life? Thank you, even if you just read this off air. P.S. Michelle, have you tried the Stella Rosa non-alcoholic wine?
No, I haven't, but I will now.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. Do you want the question summarized again? It's just, have you felt the kind of love that just leaves you completely lost in life? So it's not a reciprocated love. It's not a good kind of love.
Yeah.
Yes. Unrequited love.
Yeah. I don't believe in full unrequited love. Because I genuinely think in order to feel love, there has to be a bit of a feedback loop. And of course, people do bad behaviors where they're like giving you stuff that is feeding that.
It feels like love.
Yeah. But I do think the thing that takes love out of infatuation is like chemistry and those hormones that are real.
And you think they're reciprocal a lot of the time.
Yes.
Or they have to be somewhat reciprocal.
Yeah, and like it can
unless you're a stalker. I feel like you could be a stalker and be like in love, and that's not.
But I just think like true unrequited love, especially in this day and age where people are seeing each other less and less, and a lot of this is over the phone and over FaceTime and stuff, and we're not in the same room. I feel like it's like our brains future tripping, if that makes sense. And it's really hard not to, myself included, not to fantasize about a life with this person, but it's like not as real as it could be.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. And it would be very confusing with children involved. I don't
She's done a good job of not really including them in this, though. Kind of.
Yeah, but like with Napa, like they had like the children met each other, like that. I always find that to be kind of irresponsible when people like aren't fully in. So I don't know why he would have done that. And then like, because it sounds like you were in. You were like, okay, we're doing this. I don't know. Maybe that's like, I'm not a parent, so like, what do I know? But that just like, I don't know.
Well, you just have to drag him along wherever you go because
but my parents were divorced, and I never met a girlfriend until I met my dad's like wife.
Whoa, really?
Oh, he would never. It's just like inappropriate and weird. I don't know. That's how I feel about it.
But good boundaries
for sure. And my mom, the same thing, was like not just like boyfriends and like casual. That's like weird to me. But yeah, I like to your point. I agree. Like it's probably was more like limerence than love. And like that happens to all of us. And it's like kind of infatuation.
Evan's Googling limerence. And I guarantee
we've discussed limerence before.
Yeah. A state of intense infatuation or obsessive longing for another person characterized by an overwhelming desire for emotional reciprocation and a tendency to idolize the limerent object.
And it's really tough when what connection really feels like has been skewed, especially over the last like decade.
I see.
Yeah.
A little attention feels like connection sometimes.
Well, also being physical with someone creates that chemistry and that bond that can fade and fades faster for men, not to be, not to generalize.
I was going to say, I mean, anecdotally, I feel like I've always been like I've definitely experienced this where I'm like, I think I love you.
In the moment.
And the person's like, no, you don't. You don't.
What?
You don't. But like maybe I do because like maybe I just have strong feelings of love. Like I wonder if I'm a loving person.
Yeah.
I understand what it feels like to lose yourself to someone and be like constantly bombarded with thoughts of them and think you see them everywhere and think you smell them everywhere. Like, I know what that feels like. I've had that with, I would say, like 3 people probably, which feels like a big number, to be honest, if not way more than that. If I'm being like, that's me being conservative for sure. In my entire life, I've probably had that a bunch of times, but none of those things were actually love. You're right. None of those experiences were actually, it was me idolizing, pedestalizing, dreaming of some romantic future that doesn't exist. 500 days of summering it, if you will.
You should watch that movie.
Great movie.
Girl.
Really good movie for this.
Yeah. Because I think also the point of that movie is lost on a lot of people.
Oh, everyone. When I watched it as a teen, I was like, oh my God, they're going to end up together even after the movie's done. I'm like, they'll figure it out.
Yeah.
They must.
Or that moment in Love Actually where he's like with the signs and it's like, you don't know this child. Like,
dude, that is so fucked up. That was so weird, that movie.
Also say is, I think we've all experienced this kind of insane, like something between a crush. You're not insane. The feeling is insane. Between a crush and feeling truly in love. But I think once you're
limerence,
in real
I like
love,
this word.
Yeah, limerence is great. There's a difference. And yes, that middle feeling, that like insecure, what is he or she thinking, drives you batshit crazy.
Yeah.
And makes you never want to date again. Or for me anyway.
Yeah, a little personal. Yeah,
I'm done.
Yeah.
Have you experienced this limerence thing, Michelle, or is it because you guard your heart so well? Do you not experience it?
I know what it is to like kind of project onto somebody else what you are hoping is going to happen, and then you get disappointed, and it's like, well, no, you weren't really living in reality. You have to really be realistic about somebody's actions. Like, that's all you have. People can say whatever they want. You can kind of daydream about whatever you want. But if there's not actual actions taking place, that's kind of everything you need to know. And I think it's also this idea of like, oh, like he moved away and we can't be together. And like, I think that can trick people too a little bit. But at the end of the day, like, it sounds like so not romantic, but you want to be with somebody who wants to also be with you. Like, it shouldn't feel this like cat and mouse thing is not what you're looking for. It's kind of fun when you're 22, but like it does get old.
It does.
Yeah. Did you not have like, but the way that you're speaking about it, it like gives me the impression that you've never had like a crush that wasn't realized. Whoa. Okay. All right. All right. I guess there it goes.
I buy it.
Yeah, I guess.
Thanks, girl. No, I just like, I don't know. I've dated
but you
people
fall out
that
of love first too, like, right? Like you have crushes, you date the person, and then you fall out of it first.
I think I'm just like quite realistic about love.
Great.
But then when I fall genuinely,
that's such a cynical. What do you mean realistic?
No, I think it's nice. It's
thank
nice.
you.
I just trying to understand where, as someone who's coming from the polar opposite, like I've had to send multiple emails that are like, I just want to let you know things never worked out between us 10 years ago. And I sometimes think about you. She lives in fucking across the,
that's
like just to be like,
nice.
for some, what is it called? Closure. I needed closure. Do you know how many times I've needed closure?
I've needed closure.
Have you? Oh, okay.
Of course.
It sounds like you're the one who's always doing the closure. And then the
no,
other person's like,
I mean, I'm not a robot, but like
lost Michelle Milet. Like,
no. I just like, I think that I'm pretty good at like, I don't fall in love with people who aren't also on the same page. And whether that relationship has like worked out or not is another thing. Like I may have crushes on people and it doesn't like fully go where I thought it would, but I'm not like, oh my God, I'm hurt. Like I don't allow myself to get there.
You never had like
it's
dreams about the same person over and over again until you kind of like, and you're like, wow, the thing that could have been, we never were.
I have definitely.
But that's different than what's happening here because it's like this is like had its moment, and then that is still like
that's when it's its worst though because you know how good it could be, and you're like, how can you not see this too? We were so compatible. Do you not understand? But then again, you're maybe making it up a la 500 Days of Summer,
well, that's
where the reality doesn't meet the...
Yeah. And you're
not
like,
to spoil
he also has kids. He lives in town. He's got a tan. That's why I call him Napa. Like all of these things are like check, check, check. And then the reality is that he pulled back, and that sucks. And that kind of feeling of rejection sucks. But it's also like tells you everything you want to know. Like you don't have to chase anyone, you know?
Dude, it's so wild to hear this kind of thing.
And you have to get really specific on what connection feels like, I think. Because here's a funny story. I was out for my friend's birthday a couple months ago, and one of their, like my friend's friends was there, and he was trying to hit on me, and it was going so badly it was going badly. He like didn't know what to say, but he kept coming like across the bar to like say something. And at one point he's like, "Smells like crayons in here." I was
what a cool line.
Yeah. Were you guys at Milestones where people were drawing on the table?
You sing. Yep.
And then I was like, okay. He walked away. He thought of something else. He came back. He's just like, really, lots of different kinds of people in here. I'm like,
he's trying to tell you he's having a stroke. He's like, it smells like burnt toast, right?
You're like,
everyone's talking really loud.
He kept saying absolutely batshit things.
You're like, shut up, stop hitting on me.
And I kept shutting it down.
I know I'm pretty.
I know.
Well, it's just like I'm like I don't know what he was trying to do.
You can feel it. You could feel it.
Yeah, you could. You could. Again, it's the chemicals. You could smell the pheromones. Even if you can't smell, you could. There's something going on there. Like this person's freaking out.
He's freaking out.
Their
but
heart
then
rate is so
at
high.
the end of the night, he's like, I just feel like we have such a good connection, and I really want to see that through. Can I take you? I was like, you think you asking me about it smelling like crayons, and I didn't answer is a really good connection.
Oh, man.
Well, he saw you, he wanted you, and therefore he felt like there was a connection, but it's all about him. He didn't consider you for a second.
This is what I'm saying. So we have to get very specific on what connection feels like, and it's not just output.
Correct. That's a great point.
One time I had a date with a girl.
Uh-oh.
And you asked about crayons?
I was like, oh my God, it's so funny in retrospect. She was just like, it's like someone I like should never have been on a date with in the first place. Like really smart, type A, like person who's just like very, like we were not a match. Anyone could tell you. She was a full 6 inches taller than me too. Like there were so many things that were just so visually funny and just like made no sense about this pairing. But for some reason, I was like, you should come over and watch like a movie. And she was like, sure. And I was like, oh, okay. So I guess we're like having this date. This is in university, by the way. Okay. University Evan wore panda hats, had huge tie-dye posters on the wall, had a bunny rabbit named Pikachu who was free roam shitting on the bed. Like, this is a weird guy. Okay. This is a weird kid. She comes over. She's this like top of her class person. It's the middle of winter. I roll the fattest blunt I have ever rolled in my life. I'm talking about like a Snoop Dogg level cartoon blunt. I'm smoking all day, every day. The second I wake up, she does not smoke weed. We smoke this thing in my in my bedroom because you don't hang out in living rooms back when you're in university. You hang out in people's bedrooms.
Yeah.
We smoke this thing. I can't even tell you what. I think we watched Fantasia 2000. Okay,
Crazy.
Which has no plot. It's just visuals. It's just music. I was like, I remember walking her home in the snow. The snow's coming down. And like the day after that, I was like, that was the best date of my entire life. We had a magical time. Like she and I
don't know a damn thing about her.
Connected.
Okay.
We watched Fantasia 2000, which is my favorite movie. We smoked a huge blunt. Like I walked her home and it was beautiful. The snow was so soft.
Right.
And then like I basically never spoke to her again because I'm pretty sure she was so anxious and so not I assume her and I in my mind I was like, we're gonna go on another date for sure.
It's because what was happening for you, you were just like, oh my God, you're so beautiful. This is such a nice and she in reality she's looking over at you and you're just like,
exactly.
Yeah, I was just stoned out of my mind, enjoying my night.
Yeah.
and thinking the most romantic thoughts.
Right, but she was just there. She just like, happened to be
I've
there.
never been this hot. She was probably like, I've never been this high in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who the fuck is this kid? Why is this rabbit peeing in the middle of the floor?
Yeah.
Oh.
While
What is this
rooms in the
blacklight Sublime poster made of fabric?
I can smell that room and I don't like it.
You know what the room smelled like?
Oh,
incense. Because I burned it constantly.
Incense, urine, and BO. Because it's
it didn't smell like BO, okay? I don't smell like that.
It's hard though when you're a young man. It's hard not to. Let's just be like hormones are thing. They're a thing. That's not targeted at you. I know you smell good. For the record,
we should get her on the podcast. We should see what Jen has to say about that date.
Oh my! Wait, that would be incredible. Be like, what's your memory of this?
I looked her up at some point. She's like the most. She's just like married, kids, totally normal.
Yeah.
Totally like logical career path.
Yeah.
Like couldn't have gone in a further, like a different, like even you could see like a panda kid would turn into this. Doing a podcast at some point.
What do you mean? What's Panda Kid? What is that?
I had a tooth with panda ears.
With the ears.
Oh, okay.
Like a furry.
And then when you pulled it down, it was a balaclava of a panda's face. It was so scary.
The Panda Kid.
That mixed with the Pikachu rabbit, I know exactly what kind of kid you are.
I wore like, I wore pajama pants to the first 2 years of university.
Everybody did that.
Yeah, with the like tattery brown bottoms.
Ew, in the snow, in the Ontario snow.
That's tough. Wait, I totally forget the question. Oh yeah, right.
So if you ever fallen in love and not known that it wasn't love.
So I would just like give yourself a little grace on like allowing yourself to be like, oh, I sort of projected what I wanted and then that wasn't actually happening. And I don't know, girl, just let it go.
Date a few other people and don't bring the kids into it. And just go on some nice dates.
Also, she had her moment. She like reamed him out. End of chapter.
Yeah.
End of chapter. You're fine.
Yeah.
You didn't like go too far. Like you're allowed to have your emotions, but like now just kind of move it along.
Let's move on.
The takeaway is be with people who want to be with you.
Yeah.
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 And it's tough to find those people. And that's why when you fall in love, for real, it's the prize.
Yeah. It's worth the wait.
Mm-hmm. I've never been less weird and less all those other things as I am now.
Because
of my secure, healthy attachment. My like really adult relationship now that it's not because of that. It's like I was those things. And so I found that at some point.
Yeah, you attracted her into your life.
Alana would never have been with me when I was in my early 20s. Oh my God. I sometimes like dream of a scenario where we met in high school and it's just like,
aww,
we would have been great friends.
Yeah. And
she would never have thought of me in a romantic way.
Yeah, I've done that with Connor too, where I'm like, I wonder if we would have been like, I think we would have, I don't know. In my head, I think we would have. This is where I'm like, once I'm in love, I'm like a little bit, I can fantasize about stuff for sure.
Oh my God, are you in love right now?
Yes. Truly, madly, deeply. Nadine, are you dating right now? Are you like out there dating on dates?
We're on a date after this.
Is that why you're wearing that gorgeous two-top and beautiful necklace?
I'm gonna dress way more casual.
No, you look so good.
Nadine goes through like
pretty.
4 costume changes a day. I've never met someone who does this more than her. It's wild.
Clark just called me out about the exact same thing. Yeah. I went to her house in LA like a couple weeks ago and I brought 4 outfits.
Yeah, of course. Because you're like, we're doing 4 things, right?
I wasn't sure. And then we ended up watching Alone on the couch. And so...
And you still changed 3 times. You were just like, can you pause?
I literally did. Oh my God, that's so funny. I'm dating. Every now and then I get really tired and then I stop. Just like Ace is tired. But
fair enough.
And then every now and then someone nice asks you out and you go, yeah, why not?
Hey,
would you ever date a celebrity? What's your like limit, like your upper limit of like type of celebrity we would date?
I would, but they'd have to be cool. Like
a cool celebrity, not out of touch, or would you like to date like a wildly out of touch celebrity
for like a day?
Just rich?
It'd be so fun
go
for
to
like
Rome
a weekend or something. But like I think more long term. I mean, I'm also I have a problem, and like I think being funny is like maybe one of my top things.
Yeah.
Which being funny doesn't make you be able to take care of yourself, doesn't make you necessarily a good person.
No, but you can do all those things. Are you looking for someone funny though, equally funny to you, or who can just keep up?
I want to also ha ha ha.
Yeah. I think you should be with a dumb hot guy. I think you should be with someone who's not funny at all and just super hot, and you just use as like arm candy and sex with.
Well, then you don't know me very well, Evan, because you know.
No, I know that that's not what you want. I want that for you.
Well, but I
want you to be with a dumb hottie.
Me in my life.
No, just so that you can have that, and like you take him along like with you to things, like you carry him to places, and you just kind of put him in the corner, and he sits there, and he's like Clark Kent handsome, like he's just like a model, and he just like and he's just like drinking, he's like smiling at everyone.
Jaw.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm picturing.
I'm like very
blonde, an adult blonde man.
Yeah, he's an adult blonde. Yeah.
Whoa.
With
wait,
dimples?
no, not an adult blonde.
He's like,
Dylan. It's Dylan.
It's Dylan.
No. It's very.
Sorry, Jen. It's over.
It's Samantha and what's his nuts.
Yes, exactly. From Sex and the City.
Jared.
Yeah, Smith Jared. Yeah,
he's
exactly.
So sweet, like.
Yeah.
But you want somebody funny.
Though.
Otherwise, you're bored. Like when I've been with people that aren't that funny, but they think I'm funny. Am I ever bored?
It's so boring. I want to riff, but I also and all my funny friends, I feel this way. It's like it's a sign of wit and intelligence, and like you have to be curious about the world, and it's all one big package.
No, you should date a dumb, uncurious, hot.
All right, well, dumb hotties,
Just
you know exactly where to find me.
Fucking ribeye. I want you to date a steak of a man.
Open to the DMs, but don't be weird.
Yeah.
The weirdest people in my DMs are creepy Letterkenny fans, so don't be creepy.
Yeah,
don't be creepy.
You can be a nice fan, just don't be a creepy one.
Be sweet, make a joke.
Okay, before we let you go, do you have anything that you are wanting to plug that's coming up for you that you're excited about? Anything that we might not know about? Because I'm curious. I want to know.
I mean, Children and Everything is still and forever will be on Crave, hopefully. There are 4 seasons. It's the same. It's New Metric. It's Belle. Lisa, our beautiful Lisa, is on the show. I wrote on the show for many a season. And I watch Children and Everything.
Children Ruin Everything. Great. Okay, great. And then I will see you, both of you, soon. I'm going to book my flights for Toronto soon, and we'll set up a dinner.
I can't wait.
I know. I can't wait. IRL. Yay.
IRL.
Thank you so much for coming. Please come back.
Thank you so much. This was so nice.
We love you.
Love you.
Goodbye.
Okay, bye everyone.
Bye.
Bye.